Hello everyone out there in YouTube land, in Facebook land. Welcome to episode 1 of Cooking with Jag. On the menu today we have Wiener Schnitzel. Wiener Schnitzel is an Austrian classic. It's a breaded veal chop. But for today we'll be using pork meat because the butcher ran out of veal. It's prepared in the same way. It will taste just as wonderfully as the veal chop. And we will also be serving fried potatoes with it. So let me show you how to prepare it. The first thing you need, of course, is your ingredients. And you have your pork chops, you have your flour, you have your egg mixture, which I will describe just in a second. You have your breadcrumbs, and then you have your plate for your finished product. This is going to be the alternative to pounding out the chop, but one thing at a time. So you can just use a pounder that you have. I use this side and to chop out, to pound out the chop. But some suggest that you can just use the pan and then chop it out. But I think that that would be for me a bit adventurous, so we'll just do it traditionally. And after we pound out the chop, we're going to put some spices on it. So let's get into it. Making noise with the Wiener Schnitzel is no problem. When you go to a German or Austrian restaurant and you order a Wiener Schnitzel, you always hear this pounding. Don't be put off. You have to make it bigger, however. Experts, they can double the size. And turn it over. Just want to make sure that you don't, however, put any unnecessary holes in it. There's a little bit of a feeling when you pound it out. Don't really ram it too much. A little bit of feeling, just so it expands. And check the other side of it. Got a little more to go. And one more time. Okay, what I would do next is I would take my knife and I would remove this bit of fat here on the side. That's the next thing. So you have a nice lean piece of meat, and as you can see, it's very nicely expanded. Maybe just a little bit more. Then what you do is you take your salt, put a few pinches of salt on one side like that, turn it over, do the same thing. Take a little bit of pepper, ground black pepper, right, with your pepper mill. Put it on the other side. And what I like to do is I like to also add a little bit of cayenne pepper as well, just to give it a little bit of kick, but not too much. I mean, this is just my own personal preference. Everybody's different. My wife and I would like to tend to eat more spicier food. That's why I just put a little bit of cayenne pepper in. So you just take a little bit, not much. Some probably would use paprika too, but cayenne pepper I think works very well. It kicks it up a bit, as my mom always says. She's right about that. Spread it around. Okay, and now you get into what I like to call the Wiener Schnitzel assembly line. The Germans call it Fließband für Wiener Schnitzel. And let's put this aside here. Okay. And what you have here is you have, as you saw, your breadcrumbs, your egg mixture. Now with this egg mixture, I have 3 eggs, and what I also do, I beat them with a fork. And I put a little bit of cream in as well. I also make my scrambled eggs that way. It's actually a very good tip. I feel that it makes the eggs better, it tastes better, lightens them up a bit is the way I would describe it. So let me put this aside. Let's start with the flour. You have to be coat it with flour first. You'll make a bit of a mess, but that's fine. That's always what cooking involves. Just make sure you cover it good with flour, like that. And then you put it in your egg mixture. Let's put that aside here. As we're trying to be neat. Coat your chop completely with the egg mixture. And then, because you're going to have a little bit of runny egg on the side, just be careful when you lift it to put it into the breadcrumbs. And then you go splash in the breadcrumbs like that. Make sure you always have enough space for your chops too. As you can see, I selected dishware that gives me that kind of flexibility. Some people use pans as well, so that's very important. And as you can see, you have a lovely breaded chop now by using the flour and the egg mixture. And it really sticks nicely. And I'll do one more round. And then I put it here. And it's ready to go. That's all you have to do. Just let me give a hand wash real quick. And we will get into the discussion of frying it. Alright, let's simulate the frying. I'm not going to do it now because our guests who love Wiener Schnitzel and especially ordered it. Hello Tanya and Christian, shout out to you. It goes very, very quickly, so we're not going to fry it. Or actually what you're doing is you're baking it. So let me just explain how that is done. I have to simulate this however because we can't actually do it. So you would take a deeper pan. Of course, this was my substitute for the pounder. But let's say we'll take this size pan, about that kind of size. That will, you can fit 2 of these schnitzels in there. Well, yeah, barely kind of, I guess you could say. You do have to use a bigger pan. And then what you would do is you take your oil, in this case it's just neutral vegetable oil that I'm going to be using this time. I forgot to buy what the Germans call Butterschmalz, which is an oil based on butter, which actually, you know, those who are in the know use, but you can use a neutral oil, it'll be just fine. And the idea is that you're going to fill up your pan to about there, basically here, because what you want to do is you want to have, you can look at me, go back to me, you want to have the schnitzels swim in the oil. That's the idea, and that's what they mean when they talk about baking it. And that's, yeah, oh yeah, then you need about, after it's brown on one side, you'll know that after 2 minutes after lifting up with a fork, you then turn it over. I mean, really, the schnitzels are done in about 5 minutes. Thank you very much.